Good evening, Julien. How's life in Paris?
Good morning, Max. How is life in California?
Well, life in California is good. I have a story.
Please?
It's about somebody we talked about before. It's a little more akin to one of your stories. It's about food delivery.
Oh,
But it's a company I've talked about before, different outcome though. So,
okay.
I've talked before. We have this company that delivers meat.
Oh my God,
Yes.
the Thanksgiving meat delivery guy. Okay.
Yes.
The
We
double
got two
order.
turkeys. We got to buy 2 turkeys, and then we got to buy a $90 brisket that we never intended to order. So the latest delivery came, and guess what? 2 boxes. And I'm like, oh no, I know we didn't order 2 boxes of stuff. Please God, we didn't order 2 boxes of stuff. So I go get the boxes, open them up, and they're identical. So our order was doubled. And the way these guys work, I know somebody accidentally clicked something and it's going to be double ordered. So fortunately right after that arrived, because this is, these are boxes in dry ice of frozen meat. You can't tomorrow call them and say, hey, what's going on? So I call. You'll love this part. I call in. I do they had queued callback. Didn't tell me how long it was going to be till they called me back, but they had queued callback. I'm like, oh, great, we'll do that. And I don't know, 3-4 minutes later, it wasn't very long at all, I got a call. I answered it. It said, I'm sorry, all of our agents are busy right now, and hung up on me. It's like, thanks for letting me know. So that wasn't pretty.
And at this point, I guess you have no idea whether they're going to call again or you have to go back and ask for a call back again, right?
I just called. And I didn't ask for a call back. I just waited. I'm like, you know what? Thank God I had a window where I could do that. So I waited, and it wasn't a very long wait. I don't even think it was 5 minutes. Got on the line, very nice agent. I'm like, I got 2 boxes. We certainly didn't intentionally order 2 boxes. Can I return one? And right away, and this makes sense, no, you can't return frozen meat. By the time we get it, it won't be frozen anymore and people will die. So, okay, I get that. So she, well, let me look and see what happened. And a couple minutes of, how's your day? Oh, I'm over here looking it up, blah, blah, blah. She says, I don't think I've ever seen this before. I don't know what happened. And she literally was like, I like, you're speechless. She goes, I'm speechless. You're right. I don't even know what to say. She goes, you ordered one. Every month you order one, like clockwork. It's the exact same thing, maybe a little tweak, but we sent you 2 by mistake. You get 2 boxes of meat this month. Thank you for calling and letting us know, but enjoy all your extra meat. So it's like, okay, I feel like they're stupid, but I'm certainly not angry. So there's, it's a simple little story, but
there are quite a few things about it. First, someone in the meat lobby is trying to make absolutely sure you never turn vegetarian. There's something about you. Second, I read that article a few months back around the cost of return and the explanation why so many companies like Amazon, but Amazon used to be the only one doing that, and now more and more companies do that. They'd rather you keep it than actually you return it, because the cost for them for getting something they probably cannot resell anymore just does not make sense. And here, being frozen food, obviously, you don't want to return it. And it's kind of strange that you first call them. The first thing I would have done would be to check my bank account, see if I have been paying once or twice, because if I paid once, their problem. I'm not going to even bother calling the hotline because I know I can't return it. And I definitely don't want to give them a clue on, hey, charge me a second time.
Yeah. So, my sister-in-law pays for it, and she wasn't around, so I didn't have a way to check. And B, foolishly, I forgot there's no way this was going to be returned. So I'm like, well, I need to call right away because if they're going to get it back, I have to do it right away. So between my not having the account and a bad assumption on my part, that's why I would have done that in other circumstances. Yes, I agree.
Okay, so I just need to pass a personal message to Sally, my sister-in-law. If you're listening, you see some people do buy meat for their families, so feel free to send a parcel to my address. All right, I get that. I guess I hope for them that they don't do this too often, because they might run out of business pretty quickly with this kind of practices.
It would be pretty fatal in the long run to double every order. And it sounds like they don't, given that literally the agent was speechless and flabbergasted. So I don't think it's clearly not a common occurrence.
But there's still, so two more comments here, a personal one and a customer experience related one. First, you don't seem to learn from your mistakes, because I seem to remember you were supposed to drop that company and move on to something else. I need to watch that episode again. I don't remember clearly
I think I was gonna drop them for sure,
but
we haven't. But
if I were you and I had someone paying for my food, I would probably not drop it either. So no, nothing wrong with this. Can we pause for a second on the callback feature?
Yes,
because that's pretty. I mean, having a callback option is absolutely awesome. It's actually it's a great thing for the customer and for the company, because the company finally, assuming you do it right, the company is finally in charge of designing their own timeline, because the most difficult thing in a contact center is managing the flows, managing it's going up, it's going down. You need to have the right level of staffing. That is the biggest headache of a contact center. Once you do callback, you kind of get back in control, because you don't depend on how many people call you in. You actually decide how many calls are going to happen. So that's a great thing for the company. Not always easy to set up, but much easier to manage than inbound calls. And the second thing is great for the customer, because I don't need to hold the line. I'm just going to get a call back. However, if you don't do it right, meaning you don't let people choose when you will call back, or you don't give them some level of expectation, which is what they've done here, basically just telling you you'll get a call back. It could be next year, it could be in the next 3 minutes. Turns out it was in the next 3 minutes, which is good, but you had no idea it would be. So that's pretty bad. And then there is something absolutely amazing about your stories. I call you back to put you on hold and hang up on you. That is new. That is very creative. They probably should have an IP on this, because no one else has thought of it before.
So, in my role as an analyst now, I have had a couple of different times where I've talked to someone who, most contact center platforms now have callback as a feature of the platform. And I've talked to a couple of different people where they use that feature, and it was this kind of a disaster, where it did things like this, or there was no way to get estimated handle time, et cetera, et cetera. So he was going to, he was calling saying, what do I do? And I'm like, this is a wonderful feature. And there's, here's 2 vendors that do this, just sell this as a service. But now you're another vendor, and it's not cheap to have somebody that does it. They do it beautifully. They'll do it exactly right. But, so I guess all we can do is yell out to the ether here that if you're a vendor and you're offering callback, don't offer callback that makes it possible to do that. I don't think there was anything about how the customer deployed it other than they chose the default thing that came with the product, and it's just not an acceptable thing. This is one of the few times where I can look you in the eye and say the vendor did not give the customer a good option. And I really think that's why that happened, because I've heard people talk about that.
So the vendor being the technology vendor and the customer being the company that you've
the
been
meat
calling as
seller.
an end customer.
Right.
So, well, do you feel any better telling me that story?
Honestly, I didn't really feel bad, other than it took about 20 minutes to figure out how to put all the meat in the freezer. I didn't feel bad at all, but
What,
I feel even better getting to share that I have a lot of meat, and that I had kind of a weird experience. To me, because they had, I didn't, I got extra meat for free. They gave me no hassles and everything. It was a positive experience. So it's not like I was unhappy, but just it was stupid. So I feel
very true.
good. I feel for the company, and I thank you for the chance to get on the couch and walk it through.
Perfect. You can pay the next session in sausages or brisket or whatever you feel like. Thank you so much for your time again today, Max. I wish you have a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and I think next time will be my turn on the couch.
Sounds great. Thanks, Julien.
Thanks, Max. Bye.
Bye.